1, 2, 3, 4. Put him up. 2, 3, 4. Do it. Do it now. We're gonna learn how to paint.
Welcome, Reaper Mini fans. Today we have the Hydra. This is from the Bones line of miniatures from Reaper Miniatures. I'll give you a quick 360. This mini is going to be painted in purple. I am going to be mounting the miniature onto a 75mm base boss base, like so. Today we'll be showing you how I'm going to be painting the faces and the eyes of the miniature. I will get the base coat done and get the primer applied, and I will come back and then we can just go straight into the painting. So I've given the base a covering in some gravel. I'm letting that dry, and I've done most of the coat of dark purple on the Hydra. Now I want to add some wet blending onto each one of the heads, going from the neck to the top, just to bring in the lighter colour. So I've got my dark purple, I've got some runic purple, and I've got some splintered bone, and I'm going to go from the bottom to the top, bringing it lighter to each of the heads. So I'm going to go straight into the purple and go right down to the bottom of the neck, then add some of the runic purple and mix that in. Back into the purple. Add in some white. Add in some more white. Just to get some nice variation going into the head of each Hydra. A bit more white, so it's almost pinky purple on the ends of the nose. I'll do that with all the heads, and I'll come back once I've finished. So here we have the finished wet blending on the heads and the neck. I think that looks really nice. It's a lovely effect. It goes from a lovely dark to a lighter, right to the tips. It's nice and white on each head. So I will let this dry now, and I shall come back and show you what's next. But yes, I'm very happy with that. That looks lovely. It's beautiful. So I've given the base a base coat of rhinox hide, and I am going to just do some dry brushing on the base now. I'm just going to show you a quick way to make your base look really cool. So we've got the brown. I'm going to use some graveyard bone as a dry brush, and I've got some meadow green for a dry brush and the highlights. So it's very simple. You're going directly over the stones. You can do this to all your bases. Now we're going for the highest areas because there's stones. We want them to look, let's get rid of that here. It's been so hot today, so what's happening, all my cat's hairs are kind of drifting around the house and fallen everywhere. It's been a nightmare. So getting back to this, we just go straight over the whole base, because we want a nice rock effect to the base, but keeping some of the brown. So we're working on the higher rocks, like so. That's all we need to do. And then I'm going straight into the green, taking that off on the paper there, a bit more. And on the lowest areas, we're just going over with the green. Just in between the rocks. Very simple, but it works really well. And there we are. That's all you need to do to give some variation to your bases. I shall be adding some brown ink wash on certain areas of the rocks, just to give some colour variation. And I'll probably add some static grass, and I'll show you how I do that today, because it's not much to show you on the actual Hydra. On the Hydra, all I need to do is add in the eyes and the teeth. I got a little bit more highlighting to do on the scales, but that's about all we need to do to make the Hydra finished. I got a couple of minutes spare, so I'll give you a quick tutorial of how I put on my static grass. All you need is some PVA glue. I've got some in there. I've got some woodland grass by Army Painter. This is static grass, and I like this effect because it's got a nice nice colours to it. It's got a mix of different fibres. It's not just bright green or brown. It's got a nice texture, a nice flavour of colours there. So all we do, it's very simple. I'm just going to take an old paintbrush. There's an old monkey one, and I'm going to put on the PVA glue on my base where I feel it needs a little bit of static grass to give it a little oomph. In between the rocks there. There we go. This one just there. Don't need a lot. What you find, you can overdo it with static grass. If you just put on loads and loads, it just doesn't look right. So having it in little clumps here and there just works well. Don't need much. There we go. And just there. And one more. There. Perfect. And then all we do is we get a little pinch of our static grass, and we build up over the areas that the glue is set to. Now what you do with the static grass is we leave it for about a minute to 2 minutes, because what will happen then is the glue will soak in the grass, and then after the glue has the grass is soaked into the base, you then can tap off the excess, and that way you'll get a nice clump of grass instead, and it won't be too thin. And that's all you do. The base is done now. As you can see, the flocking has made it look very nice. There we are. There's the focus. So that's finished. All I got to do is put a nice black around the rim. Now getting back to the Hydra. What I've done with the Hydra, I've added some punk rock pink to the tongue and the mouth. And then I've used some skeleton bone for the little teeth and picked them out. I use a Psycho brush by Army Painter. It's a very fine brush, and it's fantastic for that type of work. And I've used pure white and just put in the eyes for each of the Hydra's heads. Now what I'm going to do is I'll use a very light ink wash to go over the teeth and the tongue. I will use a yellow ink wash on the eyes, just a little touch of a yellow ink wash on the eyes, Let that dry, and then I'll just add a black line for the pupil to make it look like a dragon's eye. Once that's all dry and painted, the next stage is very simple. We just use some gloss varnish from Vallejo or Army Painter, and we go over a little dot on the eyes and just over the tongue and around the mouth, just for the areas which would be moist and wet. And I'll come back and show you. Here's the finished Hydra. I'm super happy how the wet blending came out on the heads. It really does blend in lovely with the rest of the body. We've got the nice dark effect there going into the lighter body. And on the back I put on some purple ink wash and then highlighted, which gives you the nice dark shade along the tail. Fantastic. Did some highlighting on the spine. And like I say, with the eyes and the mouth, I added a gloss varnish just to give a little shine. Make it look more wet. But this is what I'm very happy about. I mean, this has just come out lovely, where you've got the super dark purple going into the lighter purple right to the tips of the nose. And it works so well with the dark body going into the light. So there we are. This is the Hydra by Reaper Miniatures from the Bones collection. Next week we have a Reaper Bones Black Mini to paint. This is the brand new retail boxed version of the Mumlac. This is a magnificent beast of a miniature. This is next Wednesday's paint, and it's good. It's very good. So there'll be a little unboxing before the show next week, and then I'll show you the mini. But look at that. Look at that. Can't wait. That's going to be so exciting. Woohoo! Okay, so if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want your names at the end of the videos to show your support, please become a patron. Till next time.
Nobody knows the troubles I've painted. Nobody knows my paintbrush. Okay, you can all go now, please.